Good day, good afternoon, good evening, brothers and sisters. How are you, wherever you may be, all 196,940,000 square miles of this planet Earth? Want to say enough respect to every one of you, and here I am again. Make sure you share this video. In the beginning, I want you to all share this video because I'm going to share at least 20 to 30 minutes of basic information of numerovation. Numbers are simple, people are complicated, and why numbers are simple, people are complicated, and how you can use it for yourself and your family. I shared this brief breakdown of these things because some people have a fear of what we call the mystery system, or what people may call the occult system. When the old saying is, everything you want is on the other side of fear. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. And fear is holding many of us back from doing what we are supposed to do. So there are people that fear people that are intuitive, or people that are what they call psychic. There are people that fear people that read cards, people that fear that those that use astrology or sometimes numerology. However, if you really look into even the scriptures that you read, as much as the writers that reinterpreted what they have said about different things like astrology and looking at the stars, but yet they will big up the stars. Yet they will show you that stars and planets and moons were necessary to reveal seasons according to their scriptures. We got to understand that the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. That's an old saying also. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself. Stop being afraid. According to many motivational speakers that I've heard, especially people like Les Brown and others, they said according to their science in this world or this society, they said there's only two known fears. Two known fears: the fear of falling and the fear of a loud sound. I'll repeat that. There's only two so-called, quote-unquote, known fears to mankind. I say mankind because it's the kind of a man that fears this, and then they had to learn not to fear it. But there's only two known fears according to their studies: the fear of a loud sound, like boom, or a bomb dropping, or thunder, or fear of falling, like if you drop from a building or somebody throw you up and you're coming back down. There's a fear of that because you don't know what to expect. You don't know what you're going to hit, especially if you got your eyes blindfolded or your eyes closed. So that comes with faith. Now, if you close your eyes or you're blindfolded, you're expected to get caught or be a net to catch you. It depends on what you're working and what you're doing. There's fear against sound, loud sounds, a loud noise, and falling. So let's touch on the word fear in numerology. And I'm going to deal with the basic systems of numerology. Let's deal with the Pythagorean and let's deal with the Chaldean. Okay? So in numerology, in the Pythagorean, the F equals the number 6. In the Chaldean, it adds up to a number 8. Both of them, in the E adds up to a number 5, and of course the A adds up to a number 1 in both systems. And in the Pythagorean system, that is a number 9, and in the Chaldean system, it is a number 2. So let's add up, and what does the word fear means in mathematics, in numerology, in the study of numbers. Remember, this is numbers are simple, people are complicated, basics. And as a matter of fact, in my book, I do touch on different words in this book, or how to read the words in my book. So make sure you go to Amazon and Kindle and get my book. It's a basic guide that helps you to use numerology as, of course, using it for human behavior, but also it helps you to learn the methods that will exercise your mind's intuitive faculty. So When I first said to myself, I am going to look up the word fear, let's say 6 plus 5 plus 1 plus 9 equals 21. 21, which equals to a 3 when you do the phatic symbol or the phatic method where you break down the number to one single digit. But remember, the 21 has a meaning, but we're not going to get into that. We're going to get with the single digit. Let's add up this one now. Okay, 8 plus 2 is 10, 15, 16. 16, which is a 7. Very interesting, because fear in the Pythagorean system says it adds up to a number 3. In the Chaldean system, it says it adds up to a 7. First, in the 3 sense, let's say 3 is on its positive is a number of expression, of expansion, of expanding beyond where you are, because it is and represents that expansive number, that expressive number, that growing number, that number that takes you beyond where you're at. But like I've always said, is that numerology has a duality. It's either positive and there's a negative. So if you're not expanding, if you're not expressing yourself, then what are you doing? You're not growing beyond where you're supposed to be. You're holding yourself back on the negative. So it's important to understand fear can be good, in other words. That's why fear has a positive and negative also. Fear can be good because sometimes fear is the one that you have to learn to hone. You have to learn to use it and learn to overcome it. So fear can be a good thing if you know where to put it at its proper perspective. Now, in the Chaldean system, it says it adds up to a number 7. And 7 in the positive is the number of research, the number of reflecting, a number of reflection, reflecting, introspection, and looking back into certain things. But it also deals with a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual thing that we're dealing with here. All right. But 16 in its dynamics has its meaning also, but we're not going to deal with the compound numbers at this time. Those who study compound numbers know where I'm going with this if we study it. But let's deal with the single digit numbers. Now, on the negative, on the positive, it's the number of research, spirituality, travel, movement, all that kind of stuff. On the negative, it's the number of worry. It's the number of depression, the number of holding things in and not expressing yourself. Holding and not. So you got two numbers from two different systems that's actually battling each other, because one in numerology is a water number and the other one is a fire number. So we know when water and fire comes together, if it's not boiling something, if there's not another element there to help it boil the water to create steam, or when water and fire comes together, there is a steam. And if we don't understand also the elements of the number, now you see why there's a battle sometimes when people are fearful of things. So my job as a numerovator, or one who practices numerovation, is to help you to understand that fear is also a motivating force. That if you learn to overcome fear instead of holding it in, you overcome it and expand on your fear and grow on your fear. Because once you learn to overcome the secret, or holding it in, or keeping it to yourself, or worrying about it, and you learn to overcome that part of the number 7, the negative, and learn to gravitate to the 3 energy of that number, guess what? That means you will overcome fear, learn to overcome and carry that knowledge of what you have to do with as far as dealing with the fear will help you to expand beyond your fear instead of being held in. Remember the word worry, because 7 is the number of worry, depression, holding things in, talking their way out. And usually they talk their way out because of fear of the unknown. So if 7 on is negative, and I usually have to touch on the negative, because if you know the reason why, or the negative of certain things, or the lower frequency of certain things, then you could actually operate and learn how to move to its highest level instead of letting the negativity hold you back. Also in numerology, let me whip out one of these books. There's a book, this is a Chaldean book on numerology, right? And when you go to the number 7 in numerology, and as far as negative, the negative of course, their interpretation is being antisocial, aloft, sarcastic, too analytical, eccentric sometimes, intellectual conceit, the negative of the number 7. But like I was saying, on another tip, the number 7 is also the number of worry, the number of overthinking things and not really stepping out on your goal. Because that's why a lot of people born on the 7th, the 25, or the 16, they think a lot to the point that they think their way out of things. People born on the 3, on their negative, can be very too talkative, gossipy. People born on the 3, the 21, the 12, the 30th of the month, they can be very gossipy and talkative, and too talkative to a point that people will get tired of them. And sometimes they can talk their way into scandals. They can be reckless with their thought. And that's the negative of the 3 and the negative of the 7 that I just gave you. So understanding the positive that helps to motivate you to be, because the 3 deals with motivation. Fear should not be the motivational force to hold you back. Fear should not be. On this negative, it can be that, but if you understand that fear is presented to you for some reason to make you better, even the numbers reveal that, because in tarot numerology, the 21 is a different frequency. The 16 in tarot numerology is also a different frequency. That means something, that deals with advancement and growth, especially with the 21, dealing with advancement and growth in many ways. As a matter of fact, let me make sure I have that book for you so you can understand that even in studying those different types of things, in the tarot numerology, the 21 going into the compound is the number of the universe. It's what they call the crown of the Magi. It's a number of advancement, honors, elevation in life, but it does say that you have to go through a long fight. You got to go through a long fight. You got to go through initiation and test of determination when it deals with the 21. Then it leads to the 3 of expansion. But you got to go through some stuff to get through some stuff. And also in the number 16 itself, that has a whole nother dynamic, but it tells you when it appears, when this number appears. It says when this compound number appears, it's relating to the future, or warnings or signs that to be careful. And note that you must make your plans. You must plan what you're doing. That's why 7 is also known as the visionary number. You have the 1 and the 6, which is the 16, but it just tells, in order for you to overcome any fatal bullcrap or any fatal things that could happen in your life, you got to plan. And because 7 is the number of research, you got to research. So in order for you to overcome this fear, study fear. Study the people that overcame fear and made things happen. Study people in your life that have overcome fear and make this, because each one of these numbers connected to it is a strong number for guidance. The 8 in the Chaldean system is an entrepreneur number. So all entrepreneurs had to overcome some type of fear. 6 is the number of balance and harmony. So all entrepreneurs had to understand balance, harmony, and how to work or serve people in some form of way. Because remember, in being an entrepreneur or being something in business or you have to be of service to people in some form or fashion. You have to connect with people. So the 8 and the 6 from 2 different perspectives gives you the positive of that. Let's deal with the one of the vowels. The vowel is the E, which is both as consistent. Vowel E and A are consistent. One is 5, one is 1. So 5 represents, on its positive, represent the multi-talented, those expansive, the traveler, the adaptive level. But on the negative, it represents being scattered mind, scattered in thought, scattered. So even in the overcoming of fear, once you've learned to overcome fear, then you could connect that adaptability, that flexibility that you need. But in keeping that fear, holding on, that's when you become scattered and don't know what to do and where to move and how to move. So you got to understand the different dynamics of the 5 itself. And the 1, because on its positive, is the leadership number. 1 is also the trailblazing number. It's the one that makes things happen. That's the assertive number. But on its negative, it can be very indecisive. People got to understand these, understand the vibration of each different number. Can be a selfish number, can be a domineering number, can be an arrogant number, can be an aggressive number, could be an impulsive number. It could be a self-centered number, but there are positive or dualities in the number. Again, then going to the letter R, which is ruled by the number 9 and the number 2 in the Chaldean, but the 9 is that number of assertive, the completion, seeing things till it's finished, done it. Don't stop and start. That is that number 9. The 2 is the sensitivity number. It's the number of companionship, but it's also the number of intuitiveness. And a lot of these numbers are intuitive numbers. The 9 is an intuitive fire number. The 2 is an intuitive water number, which usually collides with each other. There's a colliding with each other. The 1 is an intuitive assertive number also. And 5 itself is more flexible to be whatever it wants to be, and then 6 and 8 are more the earth numbers that deals with earthly bound things, they need foundation. So don't let fear be the foundation on why you don't move, because in all the numbers that fear consists of and what it adds up to, it tells me that you're supposed to expand, but still go through some stuff, and you're still supposed to plan out what you do. So in other words, you have to have a vision. And it may take some time to build your vision, but you've got to have a vision in order for you to expand. That's what the 7 is telling me. And that's what the 3 is telling me. Just to give you the basics of what numerovation is all about and what numerology is all about when it comes to different numbers or different words, because we can remember numerology is the only system that actually transposes letters into numbers. As for instance, if you look on that side of my board there, you'll see the Chaldean on the top, then you see the Pythagorean, and there's a Nigerian numerology. So when I teach my class, I run through all these different types of numbers systems. I'd go through the Nigerian. If you notice the Nigerian, it goes from 1 to 0. Very interesting. It goes from 1 to 0. That's the Nigerian numerology. And usually that numerology system is used for dreams. We're not going to get into that. Of course, the modern numerology, which was founded by Pythagoras after he came from the ancient worlds and then gave them the Pythagorean numerology system, those go from 1 to 9. And it's much more easier. It's known as the modern numerology because it's much more easier. You can actually count it on your fingers. Let's say you wanted to use 9 parts of your fingers, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, and you could count it on your fingers. So like Lloyd always says, if you have 10 toes and 10 fingers, you can do numerology. You don't have to be a mathematician. I ran into a young lady that says, oh, I'm really afraid of numbers. She's not afraid of the numbers. She's afraid of math and what she's experienced in math as far as school is concerned. But if she got into numerology, she would understand that numerology can be done easy. Look, I still use a computer. I'm not a mathematician. I ain't silly. You know what I'm saying? But numbers can help give you guidance. That's why numbers are simple. People are complicated. Because look, 2 plus 2 will always be 4. Now, 2 and 2 is 22. But 2 plus 2 equals 4 would always be 4. Regardless of which part of the world you go to, I don't care where you go, 2 plus 2 is going to be 4. But if you got 2 people born on these 2 numbers, right? Let's say somebody born on the 2nd, somebody born on the 2nd of the month or the 20th of the month. Let's say they was born on the 2nd. If one is too highly sensitive and overly sensitive, and the other one is more going towards its healing modality as far as, when I say sensitive, I'm talking about emotional sensitivity. And this one is trying to heal, then if they're not learning to work out their 2 energy frequency from their perspective, then it won't work. So when I look at these 2 numbers and I see a 4 says to me that they have to learn to communicate better in order to lay a foundation. That's how the numbers work when I see the numbers. It's a matter of interpretation from many different numerologists, and I have their own different interpretation. But you'll find that every numerologist, everybody studying numerology has the same thread. They might have, like I can go through all these books, this Chaldean book here, Numerology and Chaldean by Miss Thompson, or this numerology book, you'll find that there's different interpretation to get to the same meaning, different interpretation. Even this book, very good book, The Beginner's Guide for Divination, or Helping Yourself with Numerology. This is one of my first books that I got, but I do suggest that you get mine to give you an introductory level of what's going on. And then in the back of the book, because a lot of these books don't have a bibliography, in the back of the book, I give you recommended reading. I go and I give you some of these books that I just showed you, these as recommended reading. So understand why I do the numerology, because like I said, numbers are simple, people are complicated. Usually if people are complicated, it comes from extra stuff happening in the family, and why the family background is so important, that we learn to understand our ancestry, understand our family background, so we can be of better service to the children that are coming up, or be a better service to the parent that's gone through it. Because let's say this. I have a grandparent that was born 7/7. Okay? I'm not going to give you her year, but when I do the numerology of that, let's say 7 plus 7 equals 14. Now, 14 equals 5, right? This was a relative that would have children, may she rest in peace, would have children, and then leave the children with my grandfather, who was born 9/9. Interesting. Which is an 18 as far as cosmic numerology, which is a 9. So she being a water sign, him being an earth sign, worked very well together. But the two contrasts is in numerology that water and fire always going through some type of battle, always going through some type of stuff, unless they communicate well with each other. Again, in order for this to work, let's add the 7 plus the 9 equals 7 plus the 9 equals 16, which would be a 7. If they wanted this relationship to work, it would have to be a spiritual communication. It would have to be a more meditative communication. Like if I was guiding a couple that was born under these same numbers, I would say they would have to be more into spirituality, whether it's some type of religion they submitted to, whether it's some type of meditative system, in order for that relationship to flourish. Because it adds up to a 16, and 1 deals with the assertiveness. It deals with the leadership quality that both of them can have together. But 6 also deals with the balance. They need it. In order for them to represent their individual leadership and their individual quality, they still must have balance. And then 1 plus 6 equals 7. They still need to reflect. They need to research and need to build it from a spiritual level, because 7 is that spiritual number. So understand, my grandfather was a Virgo, of course, and my grandmother was a Cancer. So we know the water and earth signs can get together, but because of whatever she went through in her life, the 7 tells me that she'd been through some real deep stuff that she held in that a lot of people didn't know. And I'm not going to get into that right now, but I can tell through the numbers what happened. She did what she had to do, because it adds up to a 5. She always wanted her freedom. So she had 3 children, 3 girls, and gave it to my grandfather. Gave the children. Every time she had a child, she gave it to that one man she dealt with all her life. That was the man. But she went back to go run and do whatever she had to do for herself. That was it. That was all. And he raised 3 girls on his own, which is so funny. 3 is one of the higher numbers and the strong numbers, or the high power numbers to the number 9. But 3 is also a challenge number to the number 5. Interesting to me. Like I said, numbers are simple, people are complicated. So I knew how this could work. I already know how this would work when I started studying numerology. I knew how it could work, but it didn't work out that way. So I understand why my grandfather was the way he was. Remember, Virgos, as being an earth sign, love the firm and they love stability. Cancer and the water signs, according to certain systems of astrology and all that, sometimes they call the Cancer women the mistresses of the zodiac, and the Cancer men the gigolo of the zodiac. The mistresses, in other words, men would rather take care of them than marry them. Sometimes that's according. Sometimes it changes, but I'm just saying. And then, of course, the Cancer men being the gigolo, they've they just like to be out there sometimes and do their thing. But they're very sensitive. They're very loyal. They're very loyal to a fault and always have to be careful of their energies. Virgo being born on the number 9, of course, but Virgo loves stability. They love their movement. They can be very over analytical sometimes. And usually I tell Virgos, look, sometimes it is what it is. Stay focused. But let me get out of my grandmother and grandfather's business. They have transitioned already. They're helping me from the other side. Please share this video, family. Please share this video, because this is just a basics. This is just basics. And I was just showing you. And usually if you're going to study a modality like this, whether it's Numerovation or numerology, that's my name, Numerovation, because I use it to motivate people or get my book and all that kind of stuff. You're going to study this type of stuff. Study yourself and study your family first. Study family, friends, and yourself. Study yourself. Always, if you're going to get into any of this, study your family, friends, and yourself, and you'll catch on if you're going to be serious about it. You see, up here, I got a thing called discipline. That's what I look at every morning, just for this particular week, because I'm going to be heading out of town, but I still will be doing any numerology sessions. If you want to do any numerology sessions with me, please text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. Again, share this video, because it's just the basics of part of the series. I did one called Numerovation Saved My Life. This one is called Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. Basics. That's all it is. But if you're going to get into studying numbers from 0 all the way to 9, please realize that each one of these numbers from 0 to 9 connects to your family. Each one of the numbers, or from, let's say, from 1 to 31, because everyone is born on any one of those dates, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31. Boom. But this is something that I look at. If people realize, if you've ever sent me a Cash App, you'll see that these are my numbers. This is what I call my number sigils, my Numerovation sigils. These are my numerational sigils. So when you see my Cash App, and my Cash App is $ King Simon, King Simon 3158. Some people ask me, why do I put $ King Simon 3158 Cash App? That's my Cash App. So if you ever want to do my Cash App, that is what it is. Because what happens, I use numerology as a motivation force. So I make sure I stay on the higher level of each of the numbers that are behind me. So every time I see that, it keeps me as a reminder. It's just like an angel number. It's just like a master number. These are my angel numbers, so to speak. But to every angel, they can be a demon. So that's why I strive and thrive to stay on the highest level of each of the numbers. So I usually pick the 2 to 3 different meanings of the higher meanings of the numbers, so I can always stay on that level. So 3 represents expansion and expressive. 1 represents creativity and ambition. 5 represents traveler or adaptable. And 8 represents executive or entrepreneur. So I'm always striving to stay on the higher level of my numerology sigils or my numerovation sigils. These are my numerovation sigils that I created. And I created out of my birthday. Just the birthday. I didn't even go into the name because I can create it out of the name also. But I created it out of my birthday. And I've even had Copper Vibration make a symbol of copper out of the 3158, a sigil out of copper, which I'll show it to you right now. I'll show it to y'all right now. But yeah, it's not even going to be here. This is a sigil. This is a sigil that they made for me. Sorry. This is a sigil that they made for me that has the 3158. If you see the top, the 3, then you see the 5, then you see the 5 right here. then you see the 1, then you see the 8. So they made a sigil for me if I want to hang it on my neck or carry it or whatever. This is a sigil of remember. It's a sigil of guidance. And like I tell people all the time, numerology doesn't control you. It's here to guide you. Astrology doesn't control you. It's here to guide you, to put you in a better mindset, a better light of doing things and being better and doing what you have to do in this lifetime. So once again, people, please, 30 minutes is up. Please text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. You can pay via Cash App or PayPal. And PayPal is numbersrsimple@gmail. You can send PayPal by numbersrsimple. That's the numbers NUMBER, the letter S, numbers. So let me just write it down. Numbers are simple at gmail.com. That's for the PayPal. And for Cash App, like I just had, if you want to do Cash App, $ King Simon 3158. That is my Cash App. That's my PayPal. So if you want to set up a numerology session, or I use another PayPal, which is kingsimonproductions at gmail.com, but you can use those too. If you want to set up a session with me, you can text your full name and date of birth. Remember, my sessions last for 35 minutes to an hour. That's a minimum of 35 minutes to an hour. It is $2 a minute, but you got to do a minimum of 35 minutes. If you want it recorded, it's an extra $20. If you do the whole hour, then I take off $10. Just to let you know, it's $130 for the whole hour. I take off $10. It's usually $120, but it's $130. I take off and I record it and I email it to you. You download it to your computer. You listen to it over and over again to get the guidance, to get the learning, to get the experience. All right. So it's important that my premise is not to tell you what else is going on in the world. My premise is to help guide you, because I'm born of the humanitarian energy. So my humanitarian energy always come out to help you, the humans, to help guide you to be your very best. All right. So don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Numerology is just here like GPS. You put in the right numbers, you put in the right birthday, you give me the right names, and I break out and triangulate what's going on, and I give you the guidance. I'm not here to tell you about yourself and tell you how, although it can, I'm just here to help guide you so you can navigate better in this world. Please share this, please share this, please share this. I love and respect you. And remember what it says, know thyself. And numerology can help you to know thyself. And make sure you get my book, Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. That's the book. Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated, on Amazon and Kindle. Also, I have a children's book called Numbers Are Simple. Our children's health is important, because numerology can also guide you to help you understand what's the possible health ailments that you have to look out for as an adult or as a child as they're getting older. So it can help guide you. And also, I have my promotional book called No Promotion is Bad Promotion. Just spell my name right. Or no promotion is bad promotion, and all publicity is good publicity. Just spell my name right. New revised version. I got a lot of information in there on how to do your own events, how to produce your own events, how to get sponsors and all that kind of stuff. It's all in there because, believe me, I went through all of that. That's why I wrote that book. Have a great day. Have a great afternoon. Have a great evening. I love and respect all of you. Once again, keep on supporting, keep on sharing the wealth of information that many of us out there that are offering, all of the brothers and sisters that are doing it. I respect each and every one of you, and have a great day. Peace. I'm out of here.